lead us into a time of meditation.
Spirit, by your love, I now rest in your eternal arms. Quietly I go within and hear. Be still and know that I am God.
I invite you to close your eyes and take slow, deep breaths, relaxing your whole body. Allow yourself to feel lighter and lighter and more expanded until you experience being so light that you feel and see yourself begin to float above your body. Imagine now that you are high above your physical body, hovering over the earth. You look down at the planet beneath you and see a beautiful, shimmering blue sphere. You can see the oceans and continents and vast cloud formations below. You look more closely and see the mountains, forests, valleys, and cities. You see the billions of people and animals that all live interconnectedly on Earth. You feel connected to all the life teeming beneath you. You feel you are a part of a bigger design. You put your attention on the question, how am I being called to serve? You find yourself being drawn toward a place on the planet that holds a particular significance or fascination for you. You see a situation that moves you to serve. You may be shown someone, somewhere, or something that is familiar to you, or it may be completely new. You may be drawn to things such as helping animals, working to cure a particular disease, preserving the oceans, or serving children in your area or in a developing nation. Be curious and adventurous. See where you land, the kind of surroundings you find yourself in, And what is there for you to do? You may receive one or many glimpses of the opportunities that await you. Be open to all possibilities in the quiet, in the stillness, in the sacred silence. As we return our attention back to this room, it is with gratitude for all the images that have come to us from Spirit. Let us sing softly now, "Sweep over my soul."
Sweep over my soul. Sweep over my soul. Come, gracious Spirit, sweep over my soul. Sweep out hate and fear. Sweep out hate and fear. Come, gracious Spirit, sweep out hate and fear. Sweep in love and peace. Sweep in love and peace. Come, gracious Spirit, sweep in love and peace. Sweep in grace and joy. Grace and joy.
And so it is. Amen.
There is a light within me, and there Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. I think that was one you wrote. Yes. And thank you, musicians. And thank you for your loving presence here. Each week in my email that I send out, I say it's not the same without you, and that truly is the truth. Each one of you brings a special energy that helps to fill this room. And you may remember that last week we presented a tithe check to a young man, and he said, there aren't a lot of people here, but this room is so full of love and energy, and it's so true. And that's because of you and your loving presence. Well, our humor today comes from the world of advertising. Home, 199,500. Great location, 2/3 of an acre with 4 bedrooms, 2 bath, brick cape. Built the way they used to. Won't last. For sale, bulldog. Will eat anything. Loves children. And my favorite, extremely independent male, 17 years old, needs room to rent. Call his mother at. Well, today we're talking about living a life with purpose. It's part 5 of our series on happiness from the inside out. And the first idea that I would like to start with is that we first need to find our passion. Because when we find our passion, that's what leads us to our purpose. Spirit planted within each of us a gift to share with the world. And if we don't find our gift and share it, then the world is missing out on something that only we can give. So find your passion. It was William Barclay who said, there are 2 great days in a person's life. The day they are born and the day they discover why. People who are deeply committed to what gives their life meaning are much happier than people who do not, who don't know why they're here. And they live longer, happier, and healthier lives. The Harris Interactive Research reported that only 20% of Americans are happy at work. That is a tragedy. If you've ever watched somebody who hates their job go to work, you know it's the saddest thing on the planet. To spend a great deal of your life doing something that you don't enjoy. And that's why the majority of heart attacks happen on Monday morning. The majority on Monday morning. Retirees also, it's been reported that the happiest retirees are those who have also found their passion. Those who still feel a sense of purpose even after their career is over. These people often transfer their skill set to another setting. A retired banker might volunteer at a job training center, or an employee who was handy might become the handyman or Mr. Fix-It for the neighborhood. The important thing is to let your purpose lead the way. Emily Cady, in her book, Lessons in Truth, writes, loving, self-forgetting service is the shortest, the safest, and the surest way to God. And in Matthew chapter 20, Jesus said, the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve. Jane's father loved being a dentist, if you can imagine. He really absolutely loved it. He retired at age 72 very reluctantly. He wanted to find a new outlet for his talents, so he analyzed what he loved about dentistry. He realized that he loved working in intricate ways with his hands, in ways he felt were artistic. So at age 72, he took up needlepoint, and he loved it. He became a master needlepoint artist, winning awards throughout California. And that's Rosie Greer there, who also loves needlepoint. Jane says, I remember going home one day for a visit when he was about 85. He'd just begun the biggest and most intricate needlepoint project I have ever seen, a detailed depiction of the tree of life. I asked him, Dad, how long is this going to take you to finish? He said, honey, I figure at the pace I'm going, it's going to take me about 4 years. Imagine an 85-year-old man beginning a 4-year-old project, but his passion for expressing his artistry gave him a strong sense of purpose. And he did complete that project. It was his greatest work of all, and today it hangs proudly on the wall of my mother's living room in the same house that my parents shared for 53 years. My dad taught me that feeling a sense of purpose allows you to bring joy to whatever it is you are doing. On his 80th birthday, Arturo Toscanini's son Walter was asked, what did Toscanini feel was his greatest accomplishment? And his son answered, whatever he happens to be doing in the time, whether it's conducting a symphony or peeling an orange, it's in the now moment that he feels is the most important. And a quote from Albert Schweitzer, success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. If you love what you are doing, you will be successful. And I want you all to catch the little kitty on his hand. I hope you can see that. So number 1 is to find your passion. Number 2 is follow the inspiration of the moment. The now moment is really all that we have. Rhonda Byrne radiates happiness. She is the producer of the movie The Secret. She had spent all of her life in television and movie production, and someone gave her a New Thought book, and she read it and just absorbed it into every cell of her being. And she knew she wanted to produce this for television or for the theaters because it was so important. This truly was her passion. And so first she had a deal to present it on television, and that fell through. And then it was going to the movie theaters, and that fell through. What ended up happening is that it became the first movie ever streamed online, all over the world within 24 hours. And it has made such an impact in the lives of so many people because she followed the inspiration of the moment. Saint Teresa of Avila, who those of you who grew up Catholic probably know, she's one of our favorite saints. She said, the important thing is not to think much, but to love much. And so do that which best stirs you to love. And when we're doing what we really are created to do, we are filled with love and joy, and that's what we radiate to others. Small steps can bring great results. A honeybee buzzing from flower to flower isn't aware that it is cross-pollinating plants and making life on earth possible. As far as it's concerned, it's just going from flower to flower, collecting nectar that will eventually be converted into honey. Buckminster Fuller called this precession. That was the word he used to describe taking small steps to create something so much bigger. A series of small steps leading to an astonishing and unforeseen conclusion. Probably those of you who know me wouldn't expect that I would be studying the sports page of the Los Angeles Times. However, on Wednesday there was an article about Antonio Gates. It's called Guiding Spirit. San Diego Chargers tight end Antonio Gates lets his sister's memory motivate him. And it talks about beginning his 12th season with the San Diego Chargers. His 22-year-old sister Pam died last month after a 3-year battle with lupus. She had been in a coma for several weeks after suffering her second heart attack. Gates missed all the Chargers' off-season workouts, so he and his family could be at Pamela's bedside at the Cleveland Clinic. He says, "It changed me a whole lot in terms of communicating with my family, being involved with my other siblings." He said he gave serious thought to retiring. "It definitely crossed my mind," he said. "It wasn't like I wanted to be done with football, but football was not the most important thing in my life anymore. I just felt like being there for my family was more important." And that brings us to number 3, contribute to something far greater than yourself. And again, another quote from Albert Schweitzer. "I don't know what your destiny will be, but one thing I do know, the only ones among you who will be really happy are those who have sought and found how to serve." The next person I'd like to share with you about is Lynn Twist. Some of you may know her story. She was a very successful professional, as was her husband, and they had accumulated a lot of money and a lot of things. They had 2 children, and they started wondering why they weren't happy. They had everything that money could buy, but they weren't feeling truly fulfilled and happy. And so Lynn started looking around for ways that she could serve. And along with another group of individuals, she formed the Hunger Project. Their goal was to end hunger on the planet in the year 2000. They didn't quite make it, but they reduced it by 50%, which is a huge, huge thing. And then she left the Hunger Project because she felt another calling, and that was to work with the indigenous people of South America to preserve the rainforest, to create a new global vision of sustainability for all life. It isn't necessary for us to be a Mother Teresa or a Lynn Twist. All it requires to make a difference is to live a life inspired by purpose. And let's take a moment to do this inwardly. We thank you, sweet Spirit, for the calling that you have put within the heart of each one of us. May we be open and receptive to that still, small voice within that guides us to be a blessing to the world. Amen.
This song is called Step Into Love.
Step into love. And thank you, Roxanne, Lou, and Gary. Thank you, Janet, for picking out those gorgeous slides. Thank you, Tom, for sound, and Alex for the video. And if you miss a Sunday here at Unity, you know you can go to our website or to YouTube and watch the service. Unfortunately, we can't show the fantastic music because it's copyright protected, but you can hear the meditation and the lesson. And don't forget, there's a little donate button you can hit. Well, this part of our service is called our Sacred Walk of Abundance. And it's the opportunity that we have to participate in the law of giving and receiving. And so after we bless our gifts, you'll be invited to come forward. And as you walk forward in the sacred walk of abundance, with every step, give thanks for one of the blessings that has been in your life. And when you come forward, please take a blessing from the blessing bowl. If you have brought a financial gift, it goes in the plate. And if you give through your bank automatically or your credit card, you'll find one of these in one of the pockets in front of you, and you can take this out and bless it, because we never get enough time to bless. Everything we bless increases. So let's take our gifts and hold them in our hands and bless them with the words of our offering blessing. Together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I give and all that I receive. Amen.
Now let us sing together our offering song, I Am So Blessed. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. So blessed.
So it is. Amen. Well, we have the opportunity today to hear from someone who truly is living her purpose. Will you please help me welcome our Youth and Family Ministry Director, Mrs. Angie Keys.
Thank you. I began working with the youth ministry when my children were tiny, and it was really because they didn't really want me to leave, you know? So I stayed, and because I stayed, I helped. And after a while, I helped every Sunday, and it became just part of what I did. And I really enjoyed it. Then one day, one of the teachers was sick. And so Miss Kelly McMahon, used to be the director, she said, "Oh, well, you can lead." And I said, No, I don't lead. I don't. I was terrified. But she believed in me, and she told me, "You can do this. No problem, you got this." So I did it, and I loved it. So I became a regular teacher, and it was really fulfilling, and I was always nervous, like for years. I'd be driving to church going, "Oh, I'm so sick and nervous." But I loved it, I really did. And then Kelly had to step down because she moved away, and Reverend Margaret came to me and said, "Well, would you be willing to be the youth director?" And again, I was terrified. But she said to me, the most important thing is that we have a loving presence in the youth department. And she believed in me, that I could do it. So I did. And it took a while, and I took baby steps, but I love it. I truly, truly love it. And because of me taking that step and stepping out of my comfort zone, I've attended trainings, rallies, events, camps regionally. I've led events, and it's been so fulfilling for me. And this is how I found my purpose. By having those opportunities to step out of my comfort zone and put myself out there and just see what happens. And I truly, truly love it. Most recently, I was able to go to Unity Village, where I got to take some spiritual education enrichment classes. These classes range everywhere from understanding the Bible to interpreting the Bible to prosperity, meditation, the 12 powers. These are incredible courses if you ever get a chance to take them. And Unity Village is beautiful. It is a place where you walk in and you just feel at peace and you feel open. And taking a meditation class there was really intense. I don't know if any of you have been there. I know Reverend Margaret. The energy is just so beautiful, and I was so open, and I really got to a place of meditation that I'd never gotten before, and it was really wonderful. Anyway, I really need to thank Reverend Margaret, because you told me, you believed in me, and you told me that it would be okay. And without that support, I wouldn't have been confident enough to take that step. So thank you. Thanks to the board, and thanks to the whole congregation, because you've supported me so much in going to trainings. I spent a week with the top people in Unity Youth Ministry at Unity Village, learning about the children and teens and how we run classes. I totally went off my script. I always do that. Anyway, so I appreciate you so much for your loving, emotional support and for really encouraging me to take these big steps. Also, while I'm up here, Myrtle Fillmore had a vision about the children of Unity. She had a dream where she saw that the children weren't being supported, and they didn't have any guidance. And she asked in the dream, who's going to take care of the children? And a voice came to her and said, you're going to take care of the children. This is your work. And when I read that, it just struck me, because that's what I believe. This is my work. This is what I do. Being with these kids, supporting these teens regionally, it's incredible. So what I would like to do is invite all of you to look within and see if you have any calling towards youth ministry, because our youth ministry is growing, and we need some adults. If you can volunteer one Sunday a month, it would be wonderful, because our goal is to create sacred safety. In order to do that, we need 2 adults in the classroom. So please look within, see if it's calling you, and come talk to me, because this really is the most fulfilling work I've ever done. And I know that some of you out there might be in that same place. So thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for your support.
Thank you, Angie. Bless you. We are so incredibly blessed. Angie truly does have a heart for children. If you are here for the first, second, or third time, and we haven't had the opportunity to bless you, we would love to do that now. I'm going to ask you to stand, but if that makes you uncomfortable, then please just remain seated. But if you would like to be blessed and recognized, we would invite you to stand. Any newcomers here this morning? Well, welcome. We would like you to know that you are the light of the world. Together, you are the light of the world. We bless you with all the love in our hearts. We bless you with all the love in our hearts. Your presence makes a difference. Your presence makes a difference. Welcome home. Welcome home. You may be seated. Mark is bringing a welcome packet for you, and inside there's a page we hope you'll fill out so that we can know how to better serve you here. There's also a gift for you in the bookstore. It's our way of saying thanks so much for coming, and we hope that you'll be back. Next Sunday's lesson is Cultivate Nourishing Relationships. And also next Sunday, there will be a News and Notes Community Forum following the second service. We've started a new tradition that every Sunday after a board meeting, the board will be here to share everything that is going on so that nobody will be left in the dark. And also want to mention that chaplain training begins Friday, September 5th. And at the beginning of the second service, Von Callison will be here to share what it's like to be a chaplain. So if you'd like to hear that, perhaps God is calling you to assist in that way. And now as our service comes to a close, I invite you to speak with me our prayer for protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. Be sure and see Melissa at the back. And let's all stand and join hands as we sing our closing song, Let There Be Peace on Earth.